right. Welcome to Gen X Rated Tuesday edition. How we doing today, Billy?
Huh. I don't know. Feeling kind of Tuesday, kind of Tuesday-ish.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. A little upset, a little baffled, disappointed, outraged at this fucking big, beautiful bill and the assholes that are voting for it.
They don't call it that anymore. Once it was passed, they Schumer made them change the name of it away from Big Beautiful Bill because it was kind of offensive because it wasn't very beautiful.
Yeah. Well, good job, Chuck. At least you got something done.
Yeah. Yeah. It did come down to Markowski again. Some crocodile tears, which we'll talk about later, but hugely disappointing. She'd been warned. People had been calling her senators. I know Missouri was busy, and
Mhm.
she decided that she was going to do right by her Alaskan peeps. Here she is. When taking a question after the fact, she paused for 10 seconds without answering the reporter because she was not believing that he asked if she was happy with her choice of vote. She wasn't, but she said it had some work to be done in the House that she was hoping that they would do. So
The
she said
house, the
yes.
house is like a fucking barrel of clowns. Are you
That's what
kidding me? The
Marjorie's
only
telling
thing
me.
they'll do is make it more hurtful. The cuts weren't deep enough for the house. I mean, Jesus Christ.
I know.
You
She's a
know,
maniac. And I
she
don't know,
she's just weak. She's just lame.
but when you're getting all the focus, you're the one person that can turn this. I mean, it was 50-50. Without her, it doesn't pass. JD Vance had to cast the deciding ballot to get it to 51-50.
Ollie could have done the same thing. The guy that wrote the op-ed and looked like he was going to step up and be the good guy, which we knew he was not.
Yeah.
We just knew it. That guy. I mean, unbelievable. Yeah, it's so
Well,
disturbing.
the people that stuck with it, like Tillis, of course, was attacked. They're going to primary him. And he said, I'm leaving anyway. I don't care.
Yeah,
When you can't be in a Congress where people can reach across the aisle or even have dialogue and discussion, what's the point? It's
yeah.
not really a democracy anymore. And this is where we're kind of heading. Uh,
That's exactly where we're heading pretty rapidly too, it seems. And again, we always say it, these are not serious people. I mean, and I'm sure we can talk about this more, but some of the things in this bill, we're hurtling backwards at a time when we desperately need to be moving forward. There are so many challenges that this country and this world are facing. I mean, climate change. We need clean energy, and instead we're just yanking everything backwards.
Drill, baby, drill.
None
In
of this
fact,
makes sense.
that was one of the comments from the trade unions, called it the biggest job killing bill in history. People didn't quite understand that. Maybe it's construction, etc. But it's going to cancel thousands of energy projects over the next decade. This isn't the next 6 months, the next 2 years, 5 years. It's over the next decade. The funny part, which isn't humorous, is that 80% of those new clean air projects were to be built in Republican districts.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The people that don't carry their own weight in these red states and hate on the blue states, who actually have to give some of their surplus to cover some of these states, we're going to get all this juicy construction, but it wasn't something they were that into. To your point, France had record temperatures yesterday, 115 degrees Fahrenheit. You said they had to close the Eiffel Tower. To
Hmm.
that point, NOAA, which we all love, uh, is gutting all climate laboratories and cooperative institutions. They put in their tooth in this budget $0, um, $0 for any kind of climate research. I mean, you can't even make that up. Nothing. You get nothing.
It's unbelievable. I don't understand. How do these people look at themselves in the mirror and sleep at night? This is outrageous.
Well, Rubio, for one, ending U.S. aid could contribute to 14 million deaths in the next 5 years. He feels pretty good about it. As we talk about this, the dollar is at their worst since 1973, which we mentioned the other day, down 10.8%. When foreign countries stop buying our debt, that's your bonds, and the dollar is worth a lot less, and they're not running their economies with your money, you're kind of screwed.
Hmm.
It would seem that this is what Trump wants. That's where it came to drill, baby, drill. We're not interested in anybody else's green energy, let alone our own, because we don't need anybody else. We can just drill the shit out of this planet, and at least in America.
Well, we're getting drilled all right. Yeah, he was right about that.
It's unbelievable. So
Hmm.
to your point, I just feel really emotionally worn out by this whole occurrence of it's passing, it's not passing, it passed, it didn't pass, now it has to be reconciled. Now we're going back to the house. I mean, we've had enough warning. 17 million people to lose their health care, rural hospitals to close, 3
Hmm.
million Americans, including veterans, seniors, will lose food assistance. It's just crazy.
It's insane. It's cruel and it's ignorant. And you're seeing this at a time when billionaires are amassing unprecedented amounts of wealth.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Jeff Bezos wrote a fucking check for that whole fucking elaborate wedding of his and probably didn't even feel it.
No way. But
It's
what
just
a great
disturbing.
job. That was amazing.
What was?
The wedding. Oh, phenomenal.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it was amazing.
Uh, a little bit more on the bill, not to kill it to death. We've already talked about this, but you in this country, children just don't have rights. In other nations, Sweden was one in particular that they focused on. 12 to 22-year-olds can go into a clinic. They show them around. You can come in with a parent, without a parent. They're there for any of your questions. Nobody's trying to indoctrinate you into anything. This is healthcare professionals saying, hey, if you have questions, as you grow and you go through puberty and these events in life, it'd be nice to have some kind of feedback other than I'm homeschooled. Mom said this is okay, or dad says it's fine.
Yeah.
Um, we don't have those kind of rights here. We had Medicaid was something that was entitled for children in this country. We're getting rid of it. CHIP, the Children's Health Insurance Program, not necessary. We already talked about SNAP. See ya, buddy.
Hmm.
And let's call SNAP what it is. It's food stamps, and it's a way for people to eat. But instead, we get even Democrats that are saying, you know what? How do you feel, Fetterman? Well, I'm really missing my family time at the beach. This just doesn't seem fair to me. How do you win
That
them?
guy has completely lost it. What a fucking joke he is. What a joke. And it's a shame because that guy actually had a lot of potential. And I don't know if he's just, he's had some mental health challenges, and I don't know if that's what's become of him, but he has no business being in, and like a lot of these clowns, he has no business being a senator. It's just amazing to watch how that guy has changed, who he's become. Again, this is the guy that became the mayor of Braddock, a very depressed steel town outside of Pittsburgh, and he helped that town, become something. This was a guy that actually gave a shit about people. Now he's just an empty hoodie. He's a joke.
Well, he's missing his beach time, okay, and it's really upsetting him.
Yeah, well,
Uh, just a couple more points to the bill, just that we hadn't already hit upon. We know that it's going to add $3.3 trillion to the debt by 2034. Keep in mind, the big part of this bill was to not have these cuts in Medicaid come into effect until after the midterms. So that won't happen until 2026 after we get through the elections. Then you'll get the hammering. And the part that really terrified me, and this is going to lead into the next topic. First, I'm going to start with cuts to our education. Any They're getting rid of 300,000 people involved in science research and education. By 2026, we need these 300,000 people out. And just as a quick breakdown, 60,000 of them are senior research people, 6,000 are postdoc research people, 42,000 grad students, 37,000 undergrad, because you're foreign, we don't want you. And then it gets worse. You're taking away pre-K teachers, 43,000, and then 130,000 preteen students or pre-K students. See ya. We don't want you. So, I mean, how can we get better as a nation when we're not even accepting people that want to come here and get educated and grow this country? It's like it's off our radar.
it is. It's not about getting better. It's about the wealthy getting wealthier, the morbidly
Sometimes
wealthy
well,
getting even more morbidly wealthy. That's what it's all about. And
and
I just can't believe how people don't wake up and realize this. I mean, how brainwashed do you have to be not to see what's going on. Eventually, even when you're the sucker at the table and you look around and you realize that you're the sucker, you wake up. Some of these fools they're not waking up. They're just
I'm not there
comatose.
yet.
They may never get there.
And we pressured Harvard. We went after Columbia University, Yale. Indiana University has a new board of governors now. So they're eliminating or suspending 100 plus academic programs in arts and humanities, science, education, and public health. They want more practical degrees. I'm not really sure what that is, but you're gutting a handful of degrees that really help, us get better and to make the world go around. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean, and they already have places where you can go and get those skills. They're called trade schools.
Yeah, good point.
So yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I don't know who's taken over their board. I'm guessing the kind of people that are on it now, probably the red hat wearing type. But somebody like Mark Cuban was a graduate of Indiana University. That's where he started his first company.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, universities are where you go not only to learn like hands-on stuff, but just to learn how to think, right? How to deal with people, how to exchange ideas and thoughts and expand your mind. And sadly, when you have authoritarianism, they don't want you thinking. They don't want you believing your eyes and your ears. They just want you believing what you're being told.
Is that why Trump keeps saying gas is at in 5 states now? It's at $1.99 or $1.98.
Yeah, but he can't tell you what states.
Sure, because there aren't any.
Honestly. Yeah, exactly. It's just but that's the first thing they do. And now you're going to see a brain drain. You're going to see an exodus of senior researchers, and the invitations are already out for those people. They can write their ticket in Europe, in China. They're inviting them to come there because knowledge is power. And we're just dumbing this country down, which is what they want.
And we're doing it as we're applauding all this other shit. I'm going to put this up. This is Trump leaving Marine One. Eric is driving. It's one of the only vehicles he'll get into a car with, or a vehicle with Eric driving. But these golf carts, Bedminster property, the taxpayers are going to pay for the Secret Service $600,000 worth of golf cart rentals and $80,000 worth of portable restrooms rental and service. And that's for a year. In fact, it's 11 months at this point. But us as taxpayers, we're going to be paying for this. And I feel like, he needs the security. I don't have a problem with that. But he's getting paid at his golf course to rent these carts that they're buying and renting through him. Like he's making it all over the place. Mm-hmm. And frankly, with his new men's cologne, it's only $199 to get some manly fragrance of fight, fight, fight. Now, if you're a woman, he doesn't discriminate. $245 for you to smell it and princess. But if you're able to grift on the side of being president, maybe I know he's donating his $400,000 salary, but
is he?
Yeah, right. Maybe put some of this money back into the coffer too, since it's your golf course and these people are protecting you, type of thing. But it doesn't seem to register.
No, he's not wired that way at all. His whole thing is just grift, and grift some more and grab everything and anything you can get. It's just, he's got a hoarder's mentality. And, hey, save yourself $199 and just roll in a pile of shit and you'll smell just the same.
That is awesome. Well, speaking of houses of shit, I better not put her up yet. Let's move on to where Trump was this morning. And this really set my day off in a very bad way. We're at Alligator, Alcatraz. And Kristi Noem just went with the big hat today.
Still skipping leg day, I see.
She went for the white shirt, blue pants, just like Trumpy Bear. And they took a little spin around with DeSantis. Oh, there's DeSantis. And you can't tell me that the guy in the red hat's hair is clean because it just looks disturbingly gross.
Oh, he's disturbingly gross.
He's a disgusting person. Here's the whole gang. Let me see if I can get a little bigger. Look at Trump making that face. DeSantis has his lifts in, which is really cool. It's a little unstable. but it gets them to around the height that Trump lies about. The prince of or the king of the Netherlands was 6'3". Trump is smaller than him, and now we see DeSantis, who probably is about 5'9", maybe.
If he's
On
that,
a good day with his lifts,
yeah.
he looks kind of toe to toe with the guy in the hat. So if you'll lie about that, you'll lie about anything. Am I right?
Oh yeah, dude. If their lips are moving, they're lying. Oh, and there you go.
Oh, well, here's another liar. Yes.
Mhm.
I was very offended yesterday. She just makes a lot of light about this facility. These are fences. The bedding is there. There is no sanitation. I know they talk about how there's showers and stuff. I don't think that's such a hard part of stealing from the Everglades, but I do think it's an issue when you have no sanitation. This is drinking water for a lot of that area. What are you doing with it? You also use that area for your economy in that part of Florida. I don't know that you need 5,000 people defecating all over the place with no rhyme or reason. It was also pointed out that you get a good hurricane through there, and what are you doing with these people? But they're treated like jokes because they don't care about these people. Trump's words were, "I couldn't care less." DeSantis wants other states to step up. And Trump made the joke about how to run from an alligator, which I think we all know you zigzag. He thought it was hilarious. He said that increases your chance of survival 1%. And the goal basically is for them to either drown or be eaten by alligators. I'm only putting this out there because it seems that it fits this mantra. They're discovering a lot of bodies in the sea of people that are handcuffed behind their backs. We're going to dig a little bit deeper into this because it's coming out of like troop transporters where you drop the back and you start losing people.
Yeah, they did this in Argentina. Yeah, in the 70s. It's called disappearing people.
And they don't have original thoughts. So the fact that you're referencing is very clear that it's something they just pick up on.
Yeah. They load up a plane and they push them out over the ocean or over a large body of water. And I hadn't heard that. That is extremely disturbing.
I heard it in the last 48 hours. I'm still looking for more information and resources because it just seems a bit too coincidental and really simple for them. They just don't care.
They don't. And I wouldn't put anything past these people.
I mean, they talked about subjecting people to cruel and demoralizing treatment, demeaning treatment in these facilities. They don't care.
They don't care. They've already wiped their ass with the Constitution, and John Roberts held it out for them.
Yeah.
So it's just this is extremely disturbing. And if you're not outraged and downright worried about this, then you're not paying attention.
Agreed. This will open up tomorrow. Wednesday will be the first day at Alcatraz. They're looking to bring in the first 1,000 people.
Jesus Christ.
So they would like to deputize the Florida National Guard. And that way the taxpayers will be actually the Florida taxpayers are going to be on the hook for this $450 million in the first year to get this started. So I hope, they don't pay federal tax there, or no, state tax rather, but you're going to be paying for it through your food or through your housing or somewhere because Florida is on the hook. I don't think that DeSantis has a serious problem with that to begin with. The goal is to round up and get rid of 3,000 people a day. By mid-June, they had 12,000 people in immigration detention camps that had never been charged or convicted of anything. I mean, they're just picking people up. So
it's just an arbitrary number. Dude, I'm telling you, it's no different than Stalin's reign of terror.
A lot of similarities.
Dear leader comes up with a number and the flunkies go out and don't ask questions. They just round them up and do it. This is horrifying.
And I saw a video of the Border Patrol. Some people had questions. They were like, well, don't people have the rights to, and he was like, listen, we're doing a job. We're doing what they asked us to do. Like, trying to keep it above board, but it's really hard when people question the ethics and the laws of this nation. But you can find enough people that don't care to go out and do this, and it's probably fun for them. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Look at some of these fools. There's a lot of people that seem to be enjoying this.
Yeah, maybe I should put up a couple of those fools, as you call them. Yeah, it's I mean, this just no way to live. There was a Cuban 76-year-old man who had been in the U.S. for 60 years. He ended up dead, died in custody. I mean, this is the Great Detention. He's the 13th death that ICE has had in their custody. When they asked Homan about it, he said he hadn't heard about it for one, but then he said, oh, well, people die at county lockup. They die in prisons. They die a lot of places, you know?
Dude, these people are so despicable. They are so cruel. I don't even know what to say anymore. It's just this is mind-boggling. How do we manage to wake up every day and it's just something new? This shit is just spreading like a fucking cancer. And the Supreme Court is enabling it. They've enabled it. Let them take any restraint off, and they're just doing whatever they want to, whatever kind of crazy whim Trump has. This is just beyond disturbing.
I mean, you could eat off that guy's back. He's giant. Then you got these people in the background. They just put them. You see the one guy, hands over head, getting frisked on the left. You see everybody else is kneeling. These look like people that were just picked up off the job site. This was in Houston. 2,000 families were targeted. Of course, they're blue cities because that's how this administration rolls. But it's just amazing. To the grift part of it, we don't mind sending these people away as long as we get to keep our stuff at home. We found out that Kristi Noem failed to report $80,000 from dark money that she received as governor of South Dakota. Mystery donor, because you don't have to say who it is. And then the funny part is it's a violation of federal ethics. Well, you can fine her. She's got the money. You can report it to the attorney general.
Good luck with that.
Not sure how far that's going. Or other. So needless to say, nothing will happen for her and her bullshit. And she gets to keep the money. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, listen, the rule of law in this country is gone for these people. For you and I, not so much, but for them, yeah, they're just doing exactly what they want to, and they've got John Roberts' blessing. This is insane. This is so un-American.
Let me just put her mug up so we know who we're talking about. That was Kristi Noem. Yeah, she's out of uniform. I get it, but she's still a real beaut.
How much filler can you get in there?
So the one...
Gonna start looking like E.T.
The one interesting part that started this morning was Trump going after Musk and vice versa. Let me put up Bonnie because she's coming up next.
Ugh.
Seems very angry about a lot of people, and she just
look at it. It's like the rot in her soul is just leaching out.
It's so disturbing. So Trump was threatening Musk to look at his subsidies. He thinks that he could maybe deport him. So that leads to the denaturalization of American citizens. They're going to prioritize and try and pursue getting rid of naturalized citizens. And that strictly means these were immigrants that came here and completed the whole long legal process of becoming a citizen. But Trump says, there's a lot of bad people in that group, a lot of bad
people in Trump's inner circle too.
Yes.
I don't see them going anywhere.
So the issue is that who gets to pick who's the devil in this equation, right?
I know.
It's our beloved. Anybody that he believes poses a threat to national security or required citizenship or acquired citizenship through material misrepresentation. So maybe you fudged a number here or there, you're out.
Well, we know Elon did, so.
He better watch out. So
this will be interesting.
It's going to be because Elon knows a lot more than what he's saying. He's trying to contain himself, but Trump keeps pushing because Trump thinks he's won this battle because he's not the smartest guy, I would say. But the way they do this is they send it to civil court. So it's no longer going through criminal court. In civil court, it's a lower burden of proof. There's no statute of limitations, and you don't have a right to an attorney. So you just need clear and convincing evidence. Are you convinced as opposed to beyond a reasonable doubt? So it seems like an easy way to really get rid of people. You'll never guess who's at the top of this list right now, other than Elon.
Peter Thiel?
No, it's somebody who surprised people in New York while running for mayor.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Bondi's going to look into it. People at the press conference asked KK Caroline about it. She thinks it should probably be looked into. Mamdani, they feel like, even though he's been here and he's a U.S. citizen, maybe he should be deported.
This is what they do, though. And again, they're seeing somebody who's a political threat.
Exactly.
He is spreading a message that nobody thought would fly in America's largest city, and lo and behold, it did.
Yeah.
And they're scared. And
well, they want to get rid of him. It does sound a lot like McCarthyism, the Red Scare nonsense. Oh, I saw him at a meeting. Oh, he was talking to that guy over there in the blue hat.
Yeah, and we'll see if any of the Democratic leadership actually rallies around him. I would hope so, but I don't know. I don't know if I'd bet any money on it. These guys they're cowardly. They are, and I'm not talking about all Democrats. I'm just talking about some of these old school, crusty barnacles. That Chuck Schumer, we will win. Get the fuck out of here, Chuck.
I mean, this press conference went on in Florida. Trump saying, hey, DeSantis says, hey, maybe we could do this. And Trump's like, well, let me ask myself. Yeah, you have my approval. It's okay.
Yeah, it's a big joke to him. It's a big joke to him.
You're right. So I'm sure you've heard of the developer of the Ice Tracker app. It's #1 seller at the Apple App Store. It basically tells where ice is in your area so that you can go out and maybe protect your neighbor or at least witness what's going down to make sure it is actually ice and not some guys in a costume early for Halloween. They want to go after this gentleman too. So Homan called it disgusting. He can't believe that we live in a world where police who are enforcing the laws are the bad guys. And then Bondi's saying, hey, you better watch out because she's coming for you. This app has increased violence against ICE agents, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, make your own narrative of lies that you want. I don't even want to think of any. But you used to be able in a capitalistic society to come up with an app. And if people want it, it's okay. And now it's a problem. Good luck. They feel like CNN pumped up this product, so they want to sue them. They also want to sue them because they didn't like their coverage of the Iran bombings.
Dude, we are so through the looking glass and we don't even realize it yet. That water it's not only heated up, it's boiling. I mean, we're hot. At that point.
I'm feeling it.
We are really at that point right now. And it's just a matter of time till they all start strutting around in little uniforms.
Oh my God, yes. Well, at least a pledge pin for starters, and then we'll get to the uniforms, hopefully.
Yeah, nobody seems to be wearing the stupid pledge pin. Not a big success.
And the reflection is this. I just a couple of quotes. Joni Ernst, when her comment, "We're all going to die," that was pretty, I don't know, very unkind. Mitch McConnell, they'll get over it, and this continues to advance it. J.D. Vance says it's immaterial how people feel about this bill. The one person who said they felt great, Lindsey Graham. I mean, maybe I feel good. I don't know where the greatness is in this bill of stripping everybody of aid.
There's no greatness in it. It's pure greed and avarice and hatred. That's all there is to it. And I don't know. I really don't. It's just amazing that people do not wake up to this. It's amazing how effective their propaganda is. It's amazing how hateful some people are where, dude, they don't want to see any kind of facts. They don't want to see anything that disagrees with what they've been force fed in their little bubble.
Yeah,
You know,
it's a little terrifying.
it's a lot terrifying, quite
there was
frankly.
there was a poll done about pride in America, um, and it's at a new low. Not surprising. But to me, the surprise was for Democrats, those that had this pride factor still working in this country is about 36%. Independence was 53%. But the shocker was that the Republicans and their pride in this great country is at 92% as this goes on. And this isn't new. And we've been through the first Trump administration, for God's sake. This 56% split between Democrats at 36 and Republicans at 92% is the largest since 2001.
Wow.
Do you remember 2000, 2001, and why there might have been that separation between Democrats and Republicans?
Yeah, after 9/11.
Well, I was going to say after the 2000 election.
Hmm.
People knew that that was stolen. Hanging Chads, stop the recount.
Yep.
My brother's the governor of Florida. I mean, the list goes on.
Yeah, and a Supreme Court that rushed it through and said, we'll never speak of this again.
Until we need to again. And here we are.
Yeah. Yeah, it's outrageous. I for the life of me, I still don't know why Al Gore conceded. I really don't. But you'd think the Democrats would have learned their lesson then, but they did not.
No, sir. And they don't seem to be getting any better. The last part that I want to talk about on that bill, because this is under your authoritarian part that really concerns me the most. Not only are we adding 3.3 trillion to the debt, which we already know, but ICE and the border are getting so much cash.
Yeah.
$45 billion to ICE detention facilities, $14 billion for deportation operations. That's billing. Well, it's billions more than what they had asked for because they want to hire an additional 10,000 agents to go out there. Hopefully they'll be with badge numbers, etc. But there's 50 billion that's going to new border fortifications, which is basically the wall along Mexico. 50 billion. So if you add that up, you're looking at $115 billion to rough people up and get rid of people that are here legally. Now they're saying they're illegals and undocumented, but
well, and according to the Supreme Court, if Trump says it, well, it's true. And this is horrifying. This is absolutely horrifying.
That's the scariest part because that's Homan's people, and they will go out and do whatever they want all over your streets in your community. And I don't care if you're black, white, yellow, or orange. You're gonna have a problem, as we all will.
As we all will, yeah, because they're not going to just stop at people that weren't born here. They're going to start coming after people that they don't like their politics. They don't like what they're saying. They don't like their podcast. They don't like the app they developed. They don't like the way they voted. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, this is where this is heading. This doesn't just stop with immigrants. This is a full-blown authoritarianism regime now.
Yeah, it's a mess. It is a mess. I mean, there's a bunch of small policies here we could talk about within our own military that these guys are doing, but you're getting the big numbers here. We're seeing what this is. I don't even want to talk about the other stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean, what's the point? And all this shit that's basically destroying our democracy, all these costs are coming at the expense of a social safety net.
Yeah, which they don't think people deserve, even though you pay into it.
Yeah, I mean, what do they think people are going to do? How do they think people are going to react out in the rural areas when they lose their Social Security? They lose their Medicaid coverage. They lose the rural hospitals. Social Security gets cut. Food stamps. People are hungry. People are angry. People are poor. How do they think that's going to go over?
Well, especially if you don't have any brown people to be angry with. What are you going to do? It's just going to be me and you, Whitey.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing. Maybe that's why they're beefing up so much security, because they're aware that there's going to be internal strife, that people are going to push back. So that's another thing to watch out for.
Well, Hegseth has no problem with that. The military's ready. They're warriors. They're fighters, and they're ready to do some fighting anywhere.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I know there's a lot of, military members that do stand by the oath that they took, that know that, you don't have to obey an unlawful order. So we'll see. But
Listen,
none,
I didn't want to go to this, but there's a new Army shaving policy that will allow soldiers with skin conditions that affects mostly black men to be kicked out. It's called razor bumps. I'm not sure if
yeah.
you're familiar with it, but I know you are. And it affects mainly African Americans. And that's a new policy under Hexa to be allowed to kick them out. No facial hair for you, my friend. The
Wow.
question was, what about those that refused the COVID vaccine during our period of pandemic? And they got waivers. It's like your vaccination for your kid at school, you get a waiver. But if you're black, you get deported.
Unbelievable.
And these are generations of service members that have served this country. I mean, we saw the same thing with the people that helped us in Afghanistan, and now we're getting deported. And they were like, dude, I was working with the military. Those guys didn't want to hear that. They didn't care. They were hauling them out. This is $1,500 to $3,000 with this guy in my hands. What do I care that you helped in Afghanistan? Meanwhile, those chicken shit bounty hunters, whatever you want to call them, they weren't serving. They
Big
weren't
tough guys.
They weren't putting their life on the line in a very dangerous country and trying to support America's military. They weren't.
No, man, they just like to cosplay. They like to armor up and rush into a suburban house with a woman and her little kids in there and act tough.
Yeah,
like they're going into downtown Baghdad. It's so disgusting.
Join the service if you feel that way. But.
Yeah.
So my point being, we have good people in the military, but even them, their new policies are trying to kind of thin the ranks on that too. If anybody else like to wear scarves or anything, maybe we could put some kind of policy about that.
Mm-hmm.
It just gets to be too much, and this is overwhelming. The House will take up this amazing bill. Marjorie Taylor Greene already called it a shit show, which is a little surprising. As you said, maybe there's not enough cuts for her. I don't know.
That'd be my guess.
But I don't know how they're going to continue to push this forward. And of course, Trump wants to fight for 4th of July. It's all about the acoustics. I mean, 4th of July, woo.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, 4th of July, it's another holiday people should have to work. Come on, how many days off do you want?
I want as many days off as Trump takes.
Well, you better become president then.
Yeah.
He's a special one, that guy. So
special.
We talked about this before we got on the pod, but I just don't, I feel kind of worn out emotionally, and I feel like a little bit at wit's end with this. It's so obvious to so many of us, but it keeps going. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's going to pass. This is the worst thing ever. Call your senators. We make the calls. Oh, it didn't pass based on reconciliation laws of Parliament inside the Senate. Now we have a chance. We get Collins on board. She's not going to vote for this piece of turd. And then Murkowski does it again. She's the one vote. J.D. Vance comes in. Boom, it's done. Now it goes back to the House, and the House is like, this sucks. Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene can say anything, just like Josh Hawley. Oh, I would never take it from rural Missourians and their farmers, and you did.
And yet he did.
You didn't even hesitate. I called your office. I wish you'd have a shorter message so I could just give you my message.
I know, right? And all the times I've called, and it's easily double digits, high double digits. All the times I've called, I've never once talked to somebody.
Yeah, not in his office. He's in Virginia. Man, come on.
Josh Hawley does not give a shit about Missouri.
No, and he never did. Fly-by state for him. It's amazing. At least Claire McCaskill was here. They didn't like her because she had money, and it wasn't the money that they liked, I guess.
And she was a woman.
And a woman. Good point. She didn't spend enough on fragrance. Okay.
Yeah.
So
she wasn't on the grift.
Yeah, she should have had a better grift. So I just feel like I'm feeling a little bit hollow. I'm extremely disappointed.
It's draining.
And I really need people to see that they're essentially coming for any and all that don't agree with them. And how you
Yeah.
could agree with them when it's just such made up stuff. You have Republican senators begging Democrats to continue the fight because I believe what you're saying, but I just can't make that vote because I'm a coward because I'll be primaried. Murkowski, what is she? 75? You've been in there for how long? Move
Seriously.
on.
You're starting to look
Go
like the
into
Crypt
something.
Keeper.
Go into something else. Find a new way to help Alaskans.
Retire. Yeah. Volunteer.
Yeah,
Start a nonprofit. You've made your money. You're not
yeah,
hurting.
a
You've got
lot
your
of
health
it.
insurance. You don't have to worry about that crappy Medicare. You don't need that.
God
Yeah,
no.
these people have there's no they're just not courageous. There's no sense of morality. There's no integrity to stand up and do what's right. So you get primaried. Get out there and just repeat the message that, hey, this isn't acceptable. And if you lose, you lose. So what?
All
It's
we
just
want as a nation is a pretty face and somebody to lie to me.
and a mean
Clearly,
attitude. She is the
clearly.
original mean girl. Ugh.
I mean, and she might as well be wearing a cross because then I can get the religious part in there too. But
Oh yeah, that's the thing that's always just so maddening to me. I mean, they come at they just wrap themselves in the flag and the cross and carry a Bible and just carry out the cruelest, meanest shit you can think of. It's ridiculous. It
it's
really
over the
is.
top. But they're
And it
getting all this airtime. And when you always say, why does the media put this out there? Why don't they push back? They should be.
they should be,
They're
but they're
not.
not because they're owned, the
They're
mainstream
complicit.
media is owned by giant corporations and oligarchs. So yeah, they're not going to push back.
I mean, to the point that John Roberts and the court are going to look and see if, we can put more dark money into elections.
Yeah, how about more dark money? I mean, this is how democracies fail. I mean, Trump may not be that smart, but somebody in that regime knows history and they're following it step by step by step. And
Lockstep.
you really freaked me out with that report of them disappearing people, dropping them out of planes. That is fucking terrifying.
Yeah, we're going to look into that because that to me, I just couldn't get it out of my head. A lot of it was on TikTok, but a lot of them were former military. A lot of them had experience from fishing people out before,
Mhm.
generally maybe through El Salvador or drug cartel. I mean, they know the signs. Um, but my gosh, I would have imagined that in this country ever, ever, ever,
Yeah.
ever, never.
And yet here it is. And, tomorrow it'll be something else and this will be normalized again because we just keep going through stages where shit that is outrageous just becomes you wake up the next day, it's something else and you just move on. You become numb to it and you develop, essentially a callus. And it's horrifying. It's part of, losing our collective humanity. And, we're rapidly reaching the point of no return.
You certainly are. And under the leadership of this guy and the Stephen Millers, we're doomed if we don't create some change ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the mood of the day. It's pretty awful. If we were going
Yeah,
to
it's
pick a
not
day,
great.
if we were going to pick a day to skip, it probably would have been today.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I just wanted to point out some of the cuts. I know we've been talking about it for 3 weeks, but some of this stuff just on brain drain, how it's affecting universities with degrees that they're offering, and the amount of seniors, veterans, and youth that this bill's just horrific for. If you make over $1 million, you're gonna get some payback on these permanent tax cuts that Trump put in the first time. And
Yeah.
if
Oh,
you're
yeah.
not, you have a problem, and your taxes will go up. And if you're okay with that because you think you're going to be a millionaire, then you're a bit of a rube
Yep.
because the odds are not in your favor, and the field is definitely tilted. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're the sucker at the table.
keep beating that chest. USA, USA, number one, and deportations. Maybe I don't know. It's not
Yeah.
science. It ain't math. It's not English.
No. And, maybe get yourself some of that Trump cologne.
Uh, Probably smells like what was that snake venom and with Paul Rudd.
Sex
Anchorman.
Panther from the Anchorman. Yeah.
Yes. Probably something like that that drives the women crazy, but they think you smell like urine, which.
Yeah, it drives them crazy, all right. They can't wait to get away from you.
He's
But, that Trump, he's quite the ladies' man. They love him. He's a hot guy.
a hot guy.
Now we know his secret.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, shit. Well, let's just jump to the happy ending.
We're going right to it. I'm going to save yours because it's such a good one. But I'm going to jump on my happy ending of the Pirates. Back to the Buccos. I know it's like Lucy and Charlie Brown. I once again think she'll hold the ball for me, and I'll fall for it again. But Pirates have won 4 straight. The deal is they've won 4 straight games by 7+ runs, while allowing 2 or fewer runs in each of those victories. The only teams that have ever done that in baseball history are the 2025 Pirates that just did it, the 1911 Pirates, which neither of us remember, and the 1882 White Stockings.
Whoa.
So 3 teams have done it. That's it. So pretty impressive, and they've had some big innings, and I'm happy for their fans. I think it's kind of nice. I mean, if they Don Kelly, the new manager, is 17-9 at home. In the month of June, he was 14-13. If you just would have gotten rid of the terrible manager from the last 5 years a little sooner, maybe with that pitching staff and that bullpen had an amazing ERA in June, you might have had a chance. But you kept them around forever till they were
that was so bad.
18 games under 500. It's really hard to come back from that. But it's a shame.
Yeah, and you can see just some of the bonehead moves he was making that was costing them games. And that, you could look back into last season and see it too. I mean, that guy was so overmatched and underqualified, but
super nice guy. Maybe
super nice guy.
Maybe make him like assistant to the bench coach.
But you could see a point where even the players were like just completely demoralized.
Yeah, so, and the case in point with McCutchen is the fact that he's the oldest player on that team, I believe, but he's their best hitter, and they were spot starting him.
Yeah.
What do you do?
What was that all about? If he wants a day off, he'll tell you. If you're sitting him because you're protecting him, like these guys want to play. They'll let you know when they, aren't feeling it.
Or, all you did was get yourself fired, dummy.
You took a long time doing it.
Too long, frankly.
You should have pulled a Costanza. Just go up and, take a shit on Steinbrenner's desk and get yourself fired, or take that World Series trophy and drag it around the parking lot while wearing Babe Ruth's old uniform.
Maybe eat a Snickers with a knife and fork.
Yeah. So, well, there you go. Go Buccos.
Go Buccos. And then you're going to give us your happy ending in the healthcare area, something?
What was my happy ending? I
got
forgot.
paid.
Huh? Oh, yeah. I finally, I switched my healthcare insurance, paying way too much and getting way too little for a company that just, oh my God, anytime there was any kind of question or dispute, you'd have to go. It was such a runaround, and they did it on purpose. It would take repeated calls. They would either disconnect you or just you'd get somebody that didn't know what they were talking about, and you'd ask for a call back from a supervisor that never came. You'd have to call back again. You would, ask for their email address. You'd send them an email. You'd never get a reply. So I canceled it before my monthly deadline to pay, and of course they went and took it out the next day. They took it out early. So I had to call twice to complain. Then I had to call my bank, and I got my money back. So yeah.
It took a lot of work. I know there were a lot of F-bombs dropped, but
no. Well, you know what? Yeah, between you and me, there
you and I,
were.
not
But, I always, the customer service people aren't to blame. So I'm always, I fucking bite my tongue and
I meant between you and I.
Oh, fuck,
it was frustrating.
It's very frustrating, and it's not the first time I've gone through it with this company. They're just horrible. So yeah, I'm glad I got my money back, and always be nice to the customer service people. It's not their policy. It's not their fault. But there is an article in the Atlantic.
They're getting paid like shit too.
Yeah. I haven't read the whole thing, but apparently bad customer service none of this is random. It's a plan. They'll disconnect you. They'll run you around. They'll put you in touch with the wrong people. So yeah, apparently that's, again, this whole country has become one big grift, and it just starts from the top.
Yeah, it does.
So,
They
but
learn from him, man. Stretch it
yeah.
out as far as you can,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully either the patient dies or the person that's suing you runs out of money. Either way, you're the big winner.
Yeah, but I got my money back, so I'm happy about that.
Oh, I'm
And
glad.
yeah,
That makes me smile like a young McCutcheon. Okay, where is he?
there you
There he is. Big grin.
happy Kutch.
So, yeah, true professional. Well, Billy, I appreciate your help today. It was not an easy day, and I'm hoping the House continues to get calls. I know my representatives will continue to get calls because this is insane.
It's
It's
insane. It's
not
absolutely insane.
sustainable as a nation, and it's a cruel and unusual punishment for all of us. So,
Yeah, it's not
enough.
who we are, or it's not who we should aspire to be anyway. This is
Exactly.
just, yeah.
So. Well, we'll pick it up in a couple days, but we have ice tonight. That's another happy ending, and I'll pick you up in a few hours.
All right, sounds good.
All right, buddy. Well, you have a good rest of your day.
All right, you too, buddy.
I'll talk to you soon. See ya.